In this video, I talk about setting goals to create a more happy lifestyle and a more successful career. What's not to like? So let's get going. Setting goals is always a great starting point in anything you want to achieve. Setting goals gives us purpose, gives us direction, and once completed, great satisfaction and that feeling of self-esteem and achievement, which is nice to have. But remember, you're not doing them for anybody else. You're doing them for you. So let's get started. Because more we set our goals and more we do in life, life just becomes more satisfying and enjoyable. But not doing them creates frustration and procrastination and feeling that you're not really achieving anything. So this video will lead you in the way of setting goals and successfully achieving them. Remember, setting goals is not the same as just having intentions. Intentions are, I want to be fitter. I want to improve my career prospects, have better opportunities, do more things, travel more, get a new job sometime. These are just intentions. To make them goals, we need to make them a lot more specific. People say to me, why do you set your goals, David? Well, it's quite a sad but a nice story that my grandmother at the age of 93 died the day before my birthday. And this is when I had young children and yeah, life was good and things, but it was a very obviously sad time. But in some ways, looking back, it was a really important birthday present in some ways. I know that sounds a bit weird because I'm sure that when my nan left this world, she left with what I want to leave it with, and that's no regrets. She had a bit of a tough time living in London through her generation and lots of the issues that had, and didn't have lots of money, but she always felt that, yeah, she'd done what she wanted to do and she left it with no regrets, and that's what I want to work towards. At the time, yeah, life was good. Got a lovely family, which I've still got. I've got a nice house, nice things. But there's lots of other things that I wanted to do. Places I wanted to see. Things I wanted to achieve. Setting up my own business, doing a YouTube site, writing books and things like that. But then I decided on the way home that evening, after leaving my nan, the day before my birthday, well, there's only one person that can do this for me. And it's not them and they. As you know, if you watch my videos, I don't believe in waiting for them and they to do things. It's all down to me and it's all down to you to make these happen. So how do we get started in setting our goals? Well, the bit that I like achieving them, but the bit I also like is creating some thinking time, creating some reflection time. And I'd encourage you to do this on a regular basis. And as you know, I particularly like my notebooks. I like creating thinking time, switching my devices off, having a cup of tea, having a cup of coffee, sitting outside, not having the television on if I'm sitting indoors, and just create some thinking time, perhaps on a train or in a cafe. Where am I going with all of this? What do I want to do? What's important to me? And I think it's very important that you do create that thinking time. Just don't think, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. No, create some thinking time. I'm constantly reviewing my list in my notebook and thinking, what are the things I really want to work on? And when those desires come strong enough, right, time for action. I've got to make this happen. And that's really quite important. So you've got to create some thinking, reflection time. Or even if you've got some good friends or family, some good conversations. What would we like to do? Not just wish lists and intentions, but just real things. Yeah, I'd like to really do that, make some changes. Once you've decided what you want to do through your reflection, it's time for action. No procrastination, but action. I like those two words going together. No procrastination, but action. And there's a great phrase. I don't know where I found this phrase. Lots of people attributed to it. So I'm sorry if I don't get the person's name on this. But you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. Let me say it again. You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. So if you want to be great at doing things, it's a great phrase, and I'd write that down and keep it with you with no procrastination, but action. So it's great you're still with me, and if you are really keen and developing your personal development and future-proofing yourself, you come to the right channel. But because of that, I'd like to offer you a free download. in the links below, which will help you in managing your personal and professional development and to help you to future-proof yourself for the rest of your working career. So as we said, we know what we want to do. And also, it's not about intentions. We need to make them more specific, our goals. So I want to run a 10K run in 45 minutes within the next 6 months. That's specific, and it's got a time scale to it. I want to cook 4 healthy meals from my cookbook each week, starting this week. That's a specific target and a specific goal. I want to present my business ideas to the board of directors within 3 months. There again, we've been specific about what it is that we want to achieve. We could add to that about the outcomes that we want to get from the presentation. I want to move jobs to a senior analyst job within 4 months with a salary of £40,000. Okay, we've been very specific about what we want to achieve there. So we're up and running. We've decided what we want. We're specific about what we want to achieve and the time scale to it. So we're moving forward nicely now. So setting our goals, so what next? Well, it is that action. And what I think is important that sometimes we look at the whole goal as one and think, can't do that. Self-doubt creeps in, procrastination kicks in, and we keep putting things off. What I think is a really great way to start is just thinking of the first 2 steps. The first 2 tiny steps that can help us achieve this goal. So let's look at that first example. I want to run a 10K run in 45 minutes within 6 months. Perhaps you're already up and running and doing stuff, but not hitting that time. Well, step 1 is to do a 10K run this Saturday and time yourself. Okay? So that's taken into consideration. I can already run for 10K. I want to do a run this Saturday. Step 1. Step 2 is then to plan in that I'm going to do 3 runs a week of 10K every Saturday, Tuesday and Thursday. There's your first 2 steps. You're up and running. Don't worry about all the other stuff, training plans, eating and all the other things. Yeah, you just get yourself out there and start doing some stuff. And that will build momentum. And then you can look at the next 2 steps once you've done the first 2 steps. Okay, so just start off with what are the first 2 steps. Let me go through some of those other examples as well now for you. So the second example I gave you was I want to cook 4 healthy meals from my cookbook each week starting this week. So a specific goal. Okay, so step 1 is plan the nights that I'm going to cook and what meals I'm going to do. Okay, so the step 1 is to get a diary out, get the book out, the cookbook out, and plan what meals you're going to do and what night you're going to cook. Step 1. Step 2, very simple, is tomorrow I'm going to go and buy all the ingredients on the way home from work. Okay, so we're up and running. So we only need to worry about those first 2 steps. Okay, don't worry about anything else at the moment, just the first 2 steps. Let's look at the other example. I want to present my business ideas to the board of directors within 3 months. Okay, so step 1 is to discuss my ideas with my boss and 2 other colleagues by the end of the month. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is create a presentation and do a trial run with my manager and my 2 colleagues, and to get their support and to put me in front of the directors. Okay, so there's 2 simple steps there. Don't worry about standing up and the time and the date and everything else of doing the presentation and doing all my slides and things. Just do those first 2 steps, and then the next 2 steps will follow on from that. And we've got a bit of momentum. The 4th one was I want to move jobs to a senior analyst job within 4 months with a salary of £40,000. Okay. Step 1 is to review my CV within 2 weeks. Okay, so I've got to go and look at my CV and develop that in the next 2 weeks. Step 2 is to research 5 different recruitment companies that I need to go and talk to within the next month. Okay, and book some appointments within the next month. So 2 simple steps. We're up and running with our goals. They're more likely going to happen because we've been created the reflection. So we know we definitely want to do it. We've been specific. And we've now looked at the step 1 and step 2 in actually achieving it. We're up and running. Good stuff. So yeah, you might want to start getting your notebook out and start thinking what those are, planning in those 2 steps, and then creating action. So that's great. You know, we've done all that process, but I'm up and running, but how am I going to keep it going? Procrastination can easily kick in. But remember, no procrastination, but action. I would recommend you share it with a friend or a good family member that you can trust, and you can say, look, these are the things that I'm doing and these are my tasks. But obviously choose people that are going to be positive and encouraging. Oh, no, you can't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd do this instead. You don't need to have those conversations. Just with, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so how are you going to do that? And if they're going to be positive and encouraging, go and talk to them. What I think is a really great idea, and I've used this in the past, is if you've got some like-minded friends or colleagues at work, and if perhaps you've been on a training course together and done exercises like this on a training course, just sit down with them, and once a month you go for lunch or have lunch in the office, and we call what this is an accountability group. Just pick 2 or 3 other friends, and so there's 3 or 4 of you, and you sit down once a month and you go through your personal goals, and you talk about the ones that you want to do. You're all specific. You do this exercise, show them this video, and then you work out what the next 2 steps are. And then the following month, you share the next 2 steps for that particular goal, if it's quite a long goal. This is what we call accountability group, as I say, because it gives you accountability. I've got to obviously do this, and I'm doing this for myself, but because I've gone and shared it with others, yeah, it makes me have to do it. It makes me want to do it because I can see that they're doing these things and I'm not doing it. So it's a really good idea to do this. So either share it with a good friend or family member, or set up your own accountability group to keep momentum going. And what I like is at the end of the year, you can look back in your notebook, get a pen, tick, 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 tick. And it's a great feeling. As someone said to me recently, they said, oh, I've been on all these lovely city breaks this year, and I'm really excited about doing some more for next year. Because she set these as goals, it's created momentum. And she can look at her list and go, yeah, been there, been there, been there, been there, been there. Yeah? And it's a great feeling of satisfaction. So give it a go. Going back to that phrase, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do need to start to be great. So if you want to be great at getting things done and enjoy your journeys and accomplishments, hey, this is a great way to do it. But no procrastination, but action. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like the video, and I look forward to catching you up on the next one.